Welcome to the We Buy Houses podcast with our host, Brian Spitz, president of Big State Homebuyers, leading the seamless approach to real estate investing in Houston since 2005. Brian's specialty in this large wholesale operation is facilitating real estate solutions for people wanting to sell quickly. Each week, we discuss the ins and outs of wholesale real estate investing and related topics by professionals who matter. And now, here's Brian.
Hi, I'm Brian Spitz, president of Big State Homebuyers. We are Houston's top-rated company for buying houses fast. We help homeowners by paying cash for their properties, no repairs. We solve title problems, close quickly. And one of the things that we really like to focus on is helping our clients find people that can help them in their journey. And so one of the most common reasons people sell properties to us is because they've either inherited them or the family is preparing because someone's aging out of the home. And so I'm with Grace Herrington today, who is a broker for long-term care insurance, amongst other things. And what we wanted to talk about were options that people have for seniors and long-term care. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay. I've been in the long-term care planning business for about 11 years, specializing in working with Texans. I'm a native Texan myself. And I've seen a lot of people go through major gyrations when a family member needs long-term care. So it's devastating to a family, not just financially, but emotionally. There's the stuff. And what happens is a lot of people, they're just very surprised by it. And like you said, the only asset they have is their home, so they have to sell it. And when you have to sell something, you don't maybe get the best price that if you had been able to plan it. So what I do is help people be aware of their options and plan for what's eventually going to happen.
Right.
I mean, it's a 70% chance that someone's going to need long-term care over the age of 65.
And it's expensive.
It can be very expensive, yeah.
Right.
This type of protection's only been around about 40 years, so it's relatively new. So that's why they don't know about it. And the products have changed. When they first came out, they only covered like facilities, and now the products that we offer are called comprehensive. So you can get care at home, in someone else's home, in a facility. There's just a lot of options for care. So if you don't have that, if you don't have long-term care insurance, you can still, you might want to have your family pay for it, or you might have enough assets to pay for it yourself. Insurance is, just like transferring the risk for anything else, right? Why take on that risk yourself?
Well, in a way, it's like life insurance. Your life insurance is ultimately going to pay off.
Yeah.
So long-term care insurance, hoping for the longest, healthiest possible life, ultimately you're going to need it. So what types...
People live longer.
Yeah. And I think that's especially prevalent right now, with like we were talking about the baby boomers, and just the medical advances and how much longer people are living healthier lives.
Yeah. What used to kill us just keeps us alive now.
Right.
And that the longer we're alive, the longer we have to provide for ourselves and protect ourselves and have a plan.
So what types of insurance? So you touched briefly on the different options, but I guess first start by telling us what types of insurance there are and when is the ideal time to start purchasing long-term care insurance.
The ideal time to start purchasing long-term care insurance is in your late 40s or early 50s.
Okay.
It's not too late if you're 78, but you better be in really good health.
Okay.
So the sooner you buy it and the healthier you are, the better rate you're going to get. And it's not like health insurance in that you can count on the rate going up every year. When you buy long-term care insurance, you lock in your age and your health at the time you buy it. So you may get a rate increase in the future, but your rate increase versus the rate increase for someone who's not insured yet is hugely different.
Okay.
So I have people calling me all the time that they're upset that they got a rate increase. I said, well, let's look at your policy. I'd be happy to replace it.
Right.
I can get you the same policy for 10 times as much as you're paying for it now.
Right.
So they generally opt for their rate increase.
Right.
I'd be happy to sell you. Not that I ever would, but
right.
So that's the misconception. A lot of people have old policies, that no one's ever talked to them about, and they don't have the coverage that they thought. So it's very important, if you have a policy, to review it with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Right.
Don't take it to your State Farm agent, and don't take it to your brother-in-law. Someone who understands policies should do that.
Right.
So that's standard long-term care insurance. Now, there's other ways to also protect yourself. You can get, there's annuities, that have long-term care riders. There are hybrid products like whole life products with long-term care. The newest one that's out there is called Indexed Universal Life, and they have living benefits. So what that means is you can take a portion of your benefits and use it for long-term care or disability, and if you never need it, then you've got a death benefit for your family. So it's kind of
so that's a way that you can purchase long-term care insurance and it's still beneficial even if it never comes to pass that you need it.
Yeah. So nobody wants to buy long-term care insurance, right? So this other product is really interesting. So I'm upping my game on that. It's really cool. So, and you can use it there's a lot of things you can do with it, but that's not long-term care insurance. It's insurance with a long-term care benefit. So, just depending on your family. So, for example, if you come from a family that there's a lot of Alzheimer's and people have needed long-term care, you might want to also have a long-term care policy. So, I believe in layering your protection.
Right, of course. The more, insurance is one of those things that you hope you never need to use, but you have to have it. Right.
So, I'm kind of shifting people from having their long-term care insurance as their only thing is to having that's your devastating expense.
Right.
So if you might want to have something for your short-term long-term care and then your long-term long-term care. So
and so what's a good first step? So if I've got older family members that haven't done any preparations for this, what could they expect ballpark to pay for long-term care insurance, and what are the basic coverage? I'm sure there's a million different options.
Yeah, oh my God, you can configure it in so many ways. So first of all, you want to talk to a specialist.
And while you're there, tell us, because you're a specialist at this, how do we reach you to get your...
I have a website.
Okay. What's your website?
LTC4 Texas, long-term care, the number 4, Texas.
Texas.com. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so you visit with someone who's a specialist, and then what?
Visit with someone who's a specialist. They'll kind of ask you some questions about, what are you looking to protect? So, we discussed before, you need to have something, if you have no assets and you have no retirement, it doesn't really make any sense to buy this insurance because eventually you're going to have to rely on someone else.
Right.
The state recommends that you do. I mean, we can make exceptions for that. Right. But so you just find out if it's an appropriate solution. If it is, you build a plan. And there's 4 variables when you build a long-term care plan. So you get your benefit per day. So you can get anywhere from $50 to $500 a day in coverage.
Okay.
Most people get somewhere between $100 and $200. Okay. The next step is you look at the period of time you want to be your plan to pay. Most men need about 3 years of long-term care, and most women need between 3 and 5 years. So then we do that. Then we look at putting inflation protection on the plan. So you can either front load the inflation or build the inflation as you go. There's several strategies. And then we look at your elimination period, which is like your deductible.
Okay.
So the steps are you start with your health. You find out which carrier is going to offer you the best plan for your health. Like different carriers have sweet spots. So Genworth has its sweet spot. John Hancock has a sweet spot. Transamerica has a sweet spot. And then, so a specialist will then figure out what's the best plan for you. Okay. Do you want to have international coverage? Oh, if you want 100% international coverage, then you need to go with carrier this.
Right. It's interesting because being in our business, we deal with families and we deal with the aftermath of a lot of our clients come to us and they haven't done estate planning, or they haven't done, they've inherited the house, or they're, helping take care of a family member, like I said, but there's been no previous preparation. So a lot of times as we walk families through, okay, this is the process that we need to do to put title of this house in your name so you can sell it. One of the things that I think people learn from that is, I'm going to go now do estate planning for my children, because I can see how difficult it gets if things are not covered.
Yeah.
And so I think that this is a very similar circumstance. Nobody likes to do their will, but the reality is you're going to need one.
Yeah.
So, well, this is very interesting. So a great brief coverage of that. You can visit at LTC4Texas.com and visit Grace and find out about all your long-term care options.
I've got a lot of info on there.
Yeah.
Videos and that kind of stuff.
It's a great resource, and you can also visit us at bigstatehomebuyers.com and learn about different options we offer as far as helping you sell a property. And even if we're not the right solution for you, you can visit our website, find all types of information. This interview and other great topics similar will be there as well. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm honored.
You've been listening to We Buy Houses with your host, Brian Spitz, president of Big State Homebuyers. Don't forget to visit our website, bigstatehomebuyers.com, for more information on how to sell your house. We pay $500 for referrals, so tell your friends too.